are the characteristics of evaporation. These all are the topics related to first chapter, that is matter in our surroundings. Now, the first term itself, the matter in our surroundings. That means, what is a matter? Matter is made up of tiny particles which may be vary in size, shape, or character. That simply means matter is made up of very tiny particles. These tiny particles cannot be seen by our naked eyes. It cannot be seen by our naked eyes. For example, consider this marker. This marker is also made up of very tiny particles. But when we are looking at this marker, we cannot see that tiny particles. This consists of thousands of tiny particles, and that tiny particle constitute this product. That means our marker. Or otherwise, if we are considering this duster, this is also made up of thousands of tiny particles, and when we are looking, we cannot see that tiny particles. That means the constituent particles of a matter cannot be seen by our naked eyes. If we are using a microscope for like viewing a cell or other particles or other constituents of a cell, in biology we are having cells, tissues, etc., etc. We just use a microscope to analyze that. We just use a microscope to analyze that. But in case here, these tiny particles cannot be seen by our naked eyes. We can analyze it or study it by other means. When we are analyzing, that means scientists analyze these tiny particles and named as atoms. You already heard that name, atom. These tiny particles are called atoms, and this is indivisible. This cannot be divided again. That means matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Clear? And these tiny particles may vary in size, shape, and character. Okay. Now we can define matter as matter is made up of tiny particles called atom. Okay, that's clear. Now you know that matter consists of thousands of particles. That means the constituent particles. In a matter, the constituent particles have certain characteristics. Now, we have to find, or we have to analyze, or we have to study what are the characteristics of these particles of matter. That means we know that matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are the basic building unit of every matter. For every substance, for every object, these atoms are the basic building unit. For this marker too, atom is the basic building unit. For this duster, atom is the basic building unit. For this table, simply atom is the basic building unit. That means we can say that this tiny particle atom is the basic building unit of every particles. For every matter, this is the foundation. We know that for a strong building, we need a foundation. After the work of foundation, we are constructing the building upwards. That means all construction work have a foundation. Likewise, every object or every substance have a basic building unit. That basic building unit are called atoms. And these atoms constitute matter. Okay, now it's clear. Now we are going to discuss what are the characteristics of particles of matter. Particles of matter have several characteristics. We can go through it. Large number of particles constitute matter. I already told that matter consists of large number of particles. These large number of particles togetherly constitute matter. Okay. Particles of matter are very small in size. A matter constitutes of large number of particles, and this large number of particles are very small in size. That means each particle are small in size, and these small particles togetherly constitute matter. Particles of matter have spaces between them. When we are considering a matter, it is having large number of particles, and these particles are small in size. Also, these particles have spaces between them. They are not densely stick together, but they have spaces between them. These particles of matter have spaces between them. Then the particles of matter are continuously in motion. These particles are not always at rest. They are continuously in motion. Accurately, we can say that they are continuously in random motion. That means in every direction, with every possible velocities, they can move. That means they are continuously in random motion in every possible direction, with possible velocities, they can move. Particles of matter attract each other. Particles of matter attract each other. That means when we are considering two particles in a matter, these two particles attract each other. Like the similar way, all the particles in the matter attract each other. No repulsive force between the particles of matter. That means there is no force of repulsion. No repulsion exists between particles of matter. Only attraction is there. That means only attractive force is present in the particles of matter. The force exists between particles of matter is called interparticle force of attraction. Remember the name, interparticle force of attraction. Interparticle force of attraction. That means we said that particles of matter attract each other. That means they didn't repel each other. No repulsive force exists between particles of matter. Only attractive force exists between particles of matter. And this attractive force, that means force between particles in a matter, is known as interparticle force of attraction. Interparticle force of attraction. We are saying force of attraction because no repulsive force exists between particles of matter. That's why we are saying interparticle force of attraction. Interparticle force of attraction. And this interparticle force of attraction for states of matter is in the order solid greater than liquid greater than gas. That simply means the interparticle force of attraction is greater for solid, then liquid, and then gas. That means interparticle force of attraction is greater for solid and very less for gaseous state. In between solid and liquid, sorry, in between solid and gas, there is liquid state. That means it's in the order solid greater than liquid greater than gas. That means force of attraction between particles, that is interparticle force of attraction in the three states of matter, solid, liquid and gas, is in the order solid greater than liquid greater than gas. It's the first position solid. That means interparticle force of attraction is greater for solid.